truck race this past weekend at Phoenix. Put your broadcaster hat on.
Disaster.
Yeah. So me and Mike had a debate about that, and I do agree that the drivers, bear a lot of responsibility. But as a driver who's been in these situations, how much does the format of the chase or the playoffs, bear responsibility? That elimination, because to me, what we saw in the Xfinity race at Martinsville is identical. Some would say that it's not the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, the truck race at Phoenix and the Martinsville Xfinity race, to me, were both chaos and unnecessary.
Yeah.
But I think it's unavoidable, regardless of the maturity inside the helmet, because of the elimination factor and the racetrack you're at and what's on the line.
Well, I don't like it coming down to one race.
Yeah.
I just, I don't know that it represents the whole season well. I think when you look at a whole season, it's not about one race. And I think I don't know how to do it. I don't know the right way to do it. I understand why they did it, and I like the excitement that comes with it.
Yeah.
But I don't like that we get ourselves into these scenarios where we have to talk about guys crashing each other intentionally and not just the pure racing piece of it, that the guy that has the best season wins. And I think some of the things that Denny had put together with the point system and just the percentage of races that maybe decided the championship, maybe being a few races, or I think there's a way to do it where you have that excitement and don't have to have it come down to one race.
Yeah. And
I think the further down you go in the series, I think the more maybe the worse the advice gets on what you should do to win a championship in those particular moments. And so it's a fine balance between keeping it exciting but also keeping it pure enough to where it rewards the people that have had the best year and not just winning or losing in one particular moment. So I don't like how it personally don't like how it comes down to one race, because I tell people, I said, well, you don't win a championship like Dale used to win them.
Yeah.
And I think that to me it's when you start talking about being able to compare those pieces of the puzzle, when you have Dale who's won 7 championships, and you got Jimmy Johnson who won 7 championships, and then you've got like even when we won the championship in 2014, we won the championship, but we didn't have the best year. 2015, we had a way better year, and felt like that was the year that we earned and should have won the championship with when you look at the whole season. So it's a complicated puzzle when you put the pieces in there, from the pureness of the sport and racing, and also the entertainment piece of it that goes with keeping it exciting. So it's that part is a fine balance. But I think the other thing that can also eliminate a good chunk of this is just officiating it, right?
Right.
If everybody felt the host of our piece of it was 100% intentional, they should have parked him for 2 laps or parked him for the rest of the race.
Let's go back to Indianapolis when he hooked a guy on the front straightaway, whether it was a year ago or whatever. Like those moments is where we failed.
Yeah.
And led to what we saw. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Let's just go to the Cars Tour, right?
Yeah.
We have those specific conversations, and that's just not how we want to teach those kids how to race, and not the message that you get from your team member to go out in your actions on the racetrack. Sometimes those aren't the way that you need to represent yourself. So I think a little heavier officiating on those types of moments, and we've seen it ramp up. We saw, with the Bubba Wallace incident and some of the Chase Elliott incident, and NASCAR ramped it up. But, I think that there is a line to cross from a rough driving standpoint that used to be officiated. Like, I think you, especially in the Truck Series and Xfinity Series, teaching them that way. Sure, you might let a little more of that go in the Cup Series, because it will fix itself by the time it all rolls back around. That part fixes it. But there's so many guys and gals that come and go in the Truck Series, and those intentional moments I think with a little stricter officiating lessons could be taught in a way.
Yeah. I'm not to harp on Carson Hocevar too much, but I compliment him because of his ability, right? Imagine him with this activity and not the ability that he has. He'd be out.
Yeah.
His career would be in the trash.
Yeah.
Right? The only reason why he still has a hope of a career is because he really does have genuine speed and ability. The dude is fast.
Yeah.
And if he fixes all these issues, he becomes, the champion he wants to be.
Yeah, and I think back to Martinsville when I dumped Bobby Hamilton, right? And they left me out on tires, and you dump him, and next thing you know, you're in the middle of this storm that you've got the whole garage up in arms, and then you're getting stories written about you and what's not good. But it teaches you. It has this way of teaching you how to do things correctly,
Yeah.
and the thing that we used to have were, especially in the truck series, you used to have the Skinners and the Hornadays and all these guys that had been there for a long time that were going to put their arm around you and take you over to their motorhome and make you sit down and explain the world to you by forcing beer down your throat, and you were going to listen one way or another, but it taught you. And when you come to the Xfinity races, every week there'd be 15 to 25 Cup guys in the field, and so those lessons are a lot harder to learn in those series, and I think being able to make the officiating a little bit stricter on those moments, those guys need those lessons,
Yeah.
And they're not going to get them by the other 18-year-old, 19-year-old kid that's next to them. It's just how they've raced their whole way through, and at some point we have to right that ship in order to teach those processes correctly.
Yeah.